These evolutionists are total fucking retarded assholes. They claim that, some say, for example, the oldest thing that they can find is like sponges and stuff that lived on the bottom of the ocean, right? And they say, well, we don't find animals that lived under this layer, so it's obviously they're the oldest, right? See, they make assumptions. Well, I breathe air in this place, and the oxygen is vital. You know what I mean? But I breathe actually more nitrogen than I breathe oxygen. So, but I found getting water in my lungs very uncomfortable. I mean, I'd imagine like some of these people that believe the Earth is flat, for example. I've never drowned to death before, and I just believe it's true, so I don't try to breathe air. I meant to say water. Reverse that. First time. So they say well, this is the oldest fossil record. Deep down as we dig, we find these primitive, corals and sponges. So they're the oldest thing. We don't find T Rexes underneath the water, where these fucking creatures, when they were buried and turned into fossils, lived because fucking T Rexes breathe air. They don't breathe water. And, like, you know, we don't have T Rexes now that I'm aware of. Okay, but it doesn't mean that humans and dinosaurs, as you call them, didn't live together, right? They have giant human skeleton remains, and they want to keep it a secret. I guess the Smithsonian Institute, easy for me to say on no sleep. You know, the one guy from Ancient Aliens had to go and like point it out. He's like, I don't know why these are kept in a fucking case back here. They should be on open display. Which I don't know. I mean, you'd have, you'd have to take this to court. That would be probably circumstantial evidence that evolutionists are trying to actually hide. Paleontologists, archaeologists are trying to hide the fact that the Earth used to be smaller and animals were able to grow larger in the atmosphere. The pressure would be safe to assume that, like, the atmosphere on Jupiter is fucking way more fucking heavy duty millibars type than it is here on Earth, because the size of Jupiter is so large that it can withstand a very fucking heavier atmosphere. 14.7 pounds per square inch at sea level, you know? But, so the Earth was actually. Now, I did the math on the current. This is the current rate that the United States plate, anyway, whatever you want to call it, tectonic plate moves. It's 3 to 4 inches a year. Okay. So I ran it backwards. Fuck did I come up with? 33 million years. But we can't say that the rate of the expansion of the Earth has been constant throughout time. We don't know how rapidly it could have occurred initially. Um, so essentially, all you could do is speculate. You know what I mean? Right? I mean, you take, like, say, for example, there probably are places on the world where the biomass that's appreciable through a period of time period is measurable through time period to period of time. Where is it? Maybe you can judge the amount of what's called biomass depth growth in human lifetime span, but I'm not sure where these places exist. You know, Not sure. I know if I keep cutting the grass, it probably isn't going to get, the dirt ground is going to get taller. So I'm not certain what the most ideal circumstance would be for vegetation. Forest, maybe? Hmm. Not sure. And this is a conundrum that I came up with years ago. The fact where, I mean, trees have moisture in them. They're pretty goddamn solid, though, right? Tree grows, but does it take any soil? Look at how big a tree gets. It's not, I mean, it's not like you can't just walk up to a tree and put a straw in it to get the water out of it. You know what I mean? I've never heard anybody drinking tree water. Okay. I heard that you could drink cactus water, but then I guess that's a myth. They're not. So don't forget about that one. But, so, no, I guess if you took the tree, eliminated it like instantaneously, they say anything's possible, but there's way more that's impossible. There is, it is possible. So let's just say, theoretically, which is impossible, to assume the tree would just completely disappear and the root system. Yeah, there'd be a hole there. You know what I'm saying? Right? There's nothing that consists of the tree that didn't exist before prior because of the fact that the tree takes up way more space in the hole in the ground than it took, right? And then it's not water. So, and that life doesn't actually produce any greater effect, correct? Like, say, more, right? What? What do you mean, what? Did I just screw with you? Because I'm a little bit confused right now. So you must be completely baffled if you even understand half of what I'm telling you, right? Because this is a thought I had when I was young. And now it's a question. Because I know it sounds like a stupid question, but I think there's way more tree above the ground than there is below the ground, okay? You see trees get blown over, right? The stumps that I'm pretty certain that the root system isn't as large as a tree. It doesn't go down anywhere near as deep as a tree does. But I've never like took a freaking 4 foot tree and like dug all the way around and all the way and seen like took the roots out and seen how big of a hole it left to say. But then how the hell would biomass grow depth level if material wasn't added into the equation, folks? We got a serious problem here. This is some real math that actually there's no numbers involved, so we can't call it that. You follow what I'm saying? So, Earth grows for several different reasons. The number one reason, number two reason, in no specific order. I guess easiest to comprehend and understand is meteorite ash debris, right? Let's just say meteorite ash, because I really don't consider it debris, considering like that's what we're all made out of in part, right. Like Earth gets bigger because of it, and I wouldn't consider the Earth a debris particle, and I wouldn't consider it to be made of debris particles. But let's just say, and it's one of those things like I don't know. Someone says toaster, I might think of oven, and someone might say toaster oven. That's a bad example. I can't. I'm not going to try to justify my misspeech when I don't have one of those things called editing equipment. Yeah, just lousy so smartphone. I want this meant to say. So you have crystal growth, but then again, how come the crystals grow when there's not freaking any extra material? Are there any extra material? Or did they get the material from the surrounding area? And where did that come from? Right? Oh, so obvious logical conclusion is that like when neutrinos collide with each other, subatomic particles collide with each other, right? So I wonder if a galaxy that emits particulate matter of rays and cosmic rays and bombard against other cosmic rays create more particles that create more universe, perhaps. But I don't really understand how something can come about from nothing, well, unless it was created. You know what I mean? So, and the idea that the universe isn't constantly being created is preposterous to me. So, you're supposed to even take a year off in farming, biblically, and I don't have every single solitary word memorized, right? In the book, all I remember is some of the stuff I've come across in the past. So, it says you're supposed to let the field rest for a year, every seventh year, from my understanding. Actually, I probably have never even read that or listened to it, but people have said so, so it's kind of like common biblical knowledge, okay? You have to think, why would that be? Hmm. At any rate, so we have instantaneous particle creation that creates new particles. Or what the hell are they doing in Switzerland? In the CERN super collider. They're not analyzing instantaneous particle creation. They're just wasting their time, right? I mean, as far as I'm concerned. So, the Earth got bigger. I actually had an argument with somebody. I'm like, the Earth gets bigger every year. And they said the Earth doesn't get bigger every year. I'm like, the Earth gets bigger by thousands of tons of meteorite. Probably said ash debris, but I'd rather just like change it to meteorite ash. Period. That was difficult. It took a little bit of effort. Time Warner cable can change. I can change. I think I invented that. I invented the freaking thing where it was like actually use a dinosaur fitting suiting on me in this description where I'm like, at least that if you order something online, right, and it goes on a truck and it gets read by a barcode, right, that at least you should get an email when your package is on a truck. Do you know what I mean? And then a supercomputer should estimate the correct route to your house and the time between the freaking drop-offs. And what I came up with is this one. If you're not at your house to sign for a package on a certain predetermined date the day before, say, for example, time period, time frame, that you're choosing within 5 hours, then if if you're late getting to the door, then you pay more. And if they're late, they pay more. So if it's late, you get a discount. It would just be fair. In all fairness, like this Tim Cook guy that should be in prison for not obeying the court order to open a cell phone as for it involves terrorists specifically, should have been making these decisions on what not to do in a prison cell, in all fairness, because he doesn't see something to do with like all men are created equal. Like makes me want to beat people's brains and shoot them to death and choke them. Um, it's a natural instinct, though. You know what I mean? Try to remain civil if I can help it. So, am I allowed to actually express my natural desires? Can't judge um, desire, only intent. You know what I mean? So there's some physicists out there like to grab them by their freaking lab coats and shake them naturally. So the Earth got larger and animals got smaller. A lot of them, except like, say for example, whales. I think the largest living animal that ever exists on the planet still exists on the planet. Whales are below water a lot of times, and doesn't really explain the extinction of megalodon or why sharks got smaller. It's like a great white fucking shark, but it was way bigger. You know what I'm saying? So, why doesn't cosmic rays that, when they would miss the atmosphere, was around the Earth? Um, the Great Lakes meteor crater was formed that knocked the Earth off its axis, that shook the Earth so hard underwater aquifers burst, it flooded the Earth, right? So naturally, since you can put these continents together like a jigsaw puzzle, right? That would indicate that the Earth was smaller at one point in time, and that's the only logical conclusion one can make. Okay, that it was smaller at one point and it's growing, and these animals and humans were able to be larger. It says in the Bible, right? They were. It said, I don't know. Let's quote it, but something to do with giants walked the earth in those days, right? So someone poses, how did these giant creatures that were fallen angels, essentially, right? How were they able to mate with humans? Well, I think the humans were larger too. You know what I mean? It gets confusing to me. Something to do with the. I'd have to read it. That's the. I mean, when I do my constitutional law, I actually have to read. I get them confused on occasion. You know what I mean? So I underline certain specifics and I'll mess without it. You know what I mean? Not really, because there's things that you can't quote, or me, I'm speaking for myself. So, and I can prove in the documents there, right? Or read it this way or whatever, and let me try to convince you of this, whatever. But, so the fact that these scientists, the Smithsonian Institute, have these things like, not for public viewing, right, and promoting it is because if ancient humans were larger like dinosaurs, then you could say their whole fucking goddamn. See, these kids go to school, dude. These mind slaves, right? If they argue with their professor, they'll get a B or something. So, Mr. Daddy Trust Fund's not going to be so happy, and maybe Johnny doesn't get to have the Beamer. You know what I mean? If he doesn't get straight A's, and it's reciprocal throughout the whole system, like this mind slavery to the point where they actually kept saying politically correct so much that people that weren't fucking politicians, right, actually. And then if you look at someone that was so detached from fucking reality, like Jeb Bush, for example, right, that actually spoke in English and in Spanish, right, because he was trying to please everybody. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like it's gotten so bad that I make phone calls and stuff to places, and I have the option of whether I want to take the call in English or in Spanish, right? Like, here's someone running for president, saying something in English, and then saying it in Spanish, right? And you know, the rejects that are made out of this country that you know wanted to practice their Satan, the devil worship, without being persecuted by the Catholic Church, or if they disagreed with like the fact that priests should get married or any little tiny thing, right? And the level and depth of persecution was like execution and type shit, right? Okay, weren't allowed to fucking speak about what their fucking beliefs were and what have you. And then I got politically correct, and these freaking saps watching their TV boxes, right, are actually like, you can't say that because, and these people are getting fired. You know what? Years and years, I haven't heard about it for years, but there were certain firms in the United States where it was against company policy for employees to say, I'll say, engage in sexual intercourse. That's fucking Nazism, you fucking jackasses. The fucking idea that a company has any fucking right to tell any member over a certain age, let's say employable age, who the fuck they can and who the fuck they can't spend their fucking non fucking work time with. I don't know how to end this sentence. You know what I mean? Just don't feel like I want to say anything that somebody could use against me. Do you know what I mean? Essentially, they should have their fucking skulls bashed open, dude. Do you know what I mean? Okay? And that's just light. That's that's taking it lightly. Okay, so much as even suggest that adult Americans that happen to work for the same company shouldn't be allowed to see each other in any form or capacity outside of hours is an offense that I think that should be fucking dealt with. Decapitation, skull boiling, then the flesh should be ripped off their faces over a period of time. I'm not certain how long it would take to like melt someone's flesh off their skin by boiling. And then their skull should be baked in the sun, preferably, or an oven, and then bashed into dust, right? First, that no one will know their likeness. Okay? That's my belief. Do you know what I mean? Now, allegedly, some fucking wearing a piece of paper I just don't happen to have fucking handy. I'm allowed to express this belief. You know what I mean? So these mind slaves is what I'm getting at. You know, because Johnny wants to fucking he wants the beamer. Do you know what I mean? So he's gonna do whatever daddy tells him to get straight A's, and he's not gonna fucking argue with his professor. And Johnny, when he's sitting there making YouTube videos, he's gonna fucking naturally, because you know the way the system works, and he was told he was special when he was a fucking preschooler, and you know all throughout special fucking you know god dang, you know, higher education and honors classes, they get told how much better they are than the fucking basic students or the fucking. I mean, I was in academic classes actually for one whole year, right? And when I was in ninth grade, and one whole year, right? I was two classes in ninth grade and one class, and when I was a senior, and I had to get an A on my algebra final to graduate. You know what I mean? Do you have any goddamn idea how hard it is to graduate with straight D's? I mean, a straight A student will just waste your fucking company money. They'll be doing shit that's completely fucking not essential, and they'll just be a complete total fucking waste. Alright? The fucking resources. And these son of a bitch bastards got it so that they actually referring to humans as a resource. You know what I'm saying? That's disgusting. They should just be bitch slapped. Okay? I don't think that's a death offense, but someone should bitch slap the fuck out of them for referring to a human being as a resource. Just smack the fuck out of them, okay? So, it's kind of like this whole system, right? That, you know, they think it's a fucking nice, fresh little puppy dog, do you know what I mean? Or whatever. Um, or whatever, that everyone, you know, like, is completely collaborated by. And like I heard this one stupid bitch on WQLN radio, how she was talking about how something to do. All I got from the story she told is that people that believe in conspiracies are fucking like, I don't know, lesser humans. These United States government citizens, some of them, conspired against this guy named DeLorean, right? He made cars out of stainless steel that didn't disintegrate. And the United States government conspired against. Huh? So who the fuck are you to tell me that I'm not being conspired against, you fucking Nazi? Right? The fuck are you to tell me that there's no conspiracy against me, you fucking cocksucker? Right? I just said I was being spied on back in the fucking day, and I get a social security check. Now they say you have no reasonable expectation of privacy, right? Now they got this made up fake ass bullshit because they got a computer system called Carnivore, right? And this Carnivore reads every fucking email. From my understanding, listens to every fucking telephone conversation, okay? Right? So the idea that the FBI didn't already, the CIA or fucking whoever didn't already have this information on this terrorist cell phone, right? Um, like, completely preposterous, right? And the fact that Tim Cook's not in fucking prison cell while giving a judge's court order means that fucking we're not equal, and somehow he's getting preferential fucking treatment. And it makes me very angry. But Sean, you're a white male living in America. You're not allowed to be angry. You're not allowed to get angry, right? So the point being is like this political correctness, which in a sense is really not much that different than like the Catholic Church did by like, fucking. I mean, not being able to get a fucking job or being burned at the fucking stake. Dude, where do you think they got the word fired from, you stupid fucking asshole?